All right, we're on. I feel like it's been a few days. I had a lot going on. Like I had family visiting. I was spending time with my girlfriend. I just got off the phone with my brother. And now I'm here. As always, I don't exactly know what I'm going to talk about right now. I think, there we go. I put the mic a little higher today. Let's see how that goes. But I think I had such a wonderful evening with my friend who was visiting New York. It's a friend I had from one of my old jobs, like 2 jobs ago, one of the real estate investment trusts I worked at. And I remember we sat right next to each other. And I was in portfolio management and he was in asset resolutions. Without getting too technical, I managed a very large portfolio of properties. And if anything really started going awry, and if I had to sell one or if I had to relet one, I would work with him and he would help me do that. So he would maintain the relationships with the brokers. He would make the deals, like whether we would sell something or get something leased up. Awesome fucking dude. Truly an awesome dude. And I remember he and I started working together a few months before I left. And I left my old job December of 2023. And I think he and I really started cooking together like August or September 2023. He's an awesome fucking dude. And he came to New York because that old job was in Arizona, Scottsdale. He came to New York because there's a big like conference every year in New York. And he came last year, December 2024, a year after I had quit my old job. He came and it was such a fucking nice time. It was so nice. And we were never like super close, but I knew he was a good guy and we got along fine. We got along well, but we weren't like close like some of my other friends at that job. But last year he came to New York, a year after I had quit, and he was still at the company. And we had an amazing night. We ate at a Turkish restaurant. I remember that night was so fucking cold. And I think I was nervous meeting up with him because I feel like sometimes I get nerves when I'm hanging out with someone that I'm not super close with. Because it's like, oh, how are we going to make the conversation? What are we going to talk about? How do we minimize the silence? But honestly, oh my God, I don't feel that. I don't feel that way like at all ever now. Rarely, that is. It's like if there's silence, whatever. Like this fucking camera. I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just going to say whatever the hell comes to mind. Some days, the part of me is up where I feel that anxiousness in social settings. Sometimes I don't think I feel it much anymore. I don't think so. I'm satisfied. But last year, I think I was like a little bit nervous meeting up. But we met up and it was an awesome time. We went to a place near me called Alibaba Mediterranean Cuisine. And it's like Turkish. And then we went and crossed the East River, half of it. We took this tram to Roosevelt Island. And if you don't know, on a map, if the map is north-south, if this is Manhattan and this is Queens, around 52nd to 60th or to 65th, there's a little tiny sliver of an island. Very tiny. And that's Roosevelt Island. And you take a tram there, or I think you can take the F train there. We took the tram. He's not a New Yorker. I think that was his first time in New York. And I wanted to show him a good time. And we went to this like rooftop bar called Panorama Room, who I had heard from someone earlier that summer. Earlier that year in the summer, we'll say. Oh my God, time fucking flies. Wow. I was just thinking back to May of 2024 and the memories I have associated in May 2024. Holy fuck, it's like December 2025. Like 19 months later. Could it really be? Like, could it actually be 19 months later? Because I remember those first 5 months in Manhattan. Because I moved here, like I said, December 2023, January 2024. Those first 4 to 5 months felt like an eternity. But those 5 months have happened basically 4 times since then. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're here. That fucking blows my mind. Wow. So I had heard about Panorama Room from that person. And I had been, and I said, okay, this is a great place to bring my friend who's visiting for this like conference. And so we went, and he loved it, and I loved it, and we had a great time. And the night went by so fast. Because it was just one of those beautiful fucking times. He left. And like the blink of a freaking eye, I get a text from him last night. That was 1 year ago. And I get a text from him again last night. We literally haven't spoken since. And he said, let's read what he said. He just said, what's going on, brother? It's that time of year again if you're around tomorrow night. Like, fuck yeah, I'm around. A part of me was like, it's been so busy. I just want to do nothing. But we met up tonight. The second we saw each other, we gave each other a big hug. It was a good fucking night. And we went to this Lebanese place called Ozatar, and I'm half Lebanese. We went to this Lebanese place called Ozatar on 58th and 1st, or 59th and 1st. Oh my God, it was so, like, yes, the food was delicious. I had only been to the one in the East Village, but this one in Midtown East was very good. But the night just fucking flew by. Like, do you guys know that feeling when you're with someone and time you just lose track of it? Like, completely and fully, and you're just so immersed in the conversation. You're talking about things that you're genuinely interested in, like we were talking and we were catching up. Like, we didn't even reminisce. And reminiscing's fun sometimes. We didn't even reminisce. He was just catching me up with how work has been for him. And then I caught him up to like what I've been up to with my work, which is a video all in itself that I can make like another time. And then we just talked about like his trip to Japan and how I want to go to Japan. And it was like 2 hours of just talking. and just enjoying. And right before I went out tonight and I like got dinner with him, I was on the phone with my dad. And I was saying, yeah, you know, like I'm getting dinner with my friend tonight. Like a part of me, or parts of me are just tired and don't really want to do it. He just said, Tino, it'll be a great time. And he was so fucking right. I loved it. I wish that dude lived in New York, for sure. Solid fucking guy. Would be a solid friend to have around. It was sick too because there were moments where we just supported each other at dinner. Like, you know, when I was opening up about like the struggles I've had this year and the shame that I've felt this year and how I've felt lost this year at some points, particularly around my career, he was just fucking there for me. He didn't seem... He wasn't worried at all. He was supportive. He thought it was sick what I'm doing. And he meant it. How could you not want to be around someone like that, you know? And he was telling me about his accomplishments at work. And he said, I'm proud of myself. And I said, dude, I'm proud of you. I don't know, it seemed like it, in that moment, like just reading his body language and his tonality and his eye contact, I believe it meant a lot to him. I don't know exactly why. I don't know if it was because when we worked together, I was, you know, in the org structure, I wasn't his peer, I was above him. I don't know if because maybe he views me still like that. I don't know if it's because he thinks highly of me, or maybe because maybe none of that bullshit. And just because I'm his friend, and he was just happy that his friend said, I am proud of you. Maybe it was that simple. I know he appreciated it when I said that. And then we were talking about his trip to Japan and how he went into a restaurant with some of his friends and they stayed there for like 4 hours and just became friends with the lady whose restaurant it was. And by the end, she was just like, thank you so much for coming. Please, if you ever come back to Japan, and this is all in Japanese, please, if you ever come back to Japan, please say hello. You guys made my night. You guys, this was the best night I've had in so long since my husband passed, or something like that. And all they did was they just ate dinner and had drinks at her restaurant, her little like 6-person restaurant. And he was telling me how about how meaningful it was to him and how, you know, and this is a big guy. Like, this is a easily, like, you know, about my height, like 5'11", 6 foot, 200 plus pounds, like big, you know, big beard, like your classic, like manly man look. And, you know, built. And he said, you know, I was about to cry when she said that. And I thought that was fucking beautiful. And I could see his eyes welling up. And I thought it was fucking beautiful. I thought it was so beautiful, and I'm so honored to have shared that moment with him. You know, I wasn't there in the moment with him, but for him to share that memory with me and show his feelings, I'm grateful for that. It makes me feel a sense of connection. And so I picked him up from the 53rd and Lexington subway stop. We went to dinner, had our dinner. You know, after he told me about that story, we basically left. We had about 10, 12, 13 minutes left together as I walked him back to the 53rd and Lexington subway stop. We hugged, said goodbye, gave each other like one last fist bump, and then called it a night. He said, you know, we'll talk soon and hopefully do this again in a year. It was a perfect night. I truly wouldn't change anything about it. I did my laundry. I'm like getting rid of all my underwear because they say polyester's bad and makes you infertile. Who knows if that's true? I mean, I'm pretty gullible for that stuff. So if I have like a pile of my old underwear, and I just got like my girlfriend and I just got me like the Skims, like Kim Kardashian Skims male 3-inch cotton, 3-inch inseam cotton boxers. And those things are fucking comfortable. We got me 3 like a few weeks ago. I loved them. And I just said, okay, out with the old and in with the new. So I got to toss those. And turn the light on over there today because scared of ghosts. That's it, guys. I don't think there's much else to say. I could feel myself compelled to speak about IFS or something, but I'm just going to keep rolling with like just talking. Nothing special. Seeing where that goes. Seeing where it goes. I have no idea. I might not get any viewers. I suppose that's okay. Anyway, have a good night, you guys.